Hi guys, this is Terry Felty, Director of Instruction at Big Sticks Golf in Burlington, Massachusetts. Today I just want to show you a couple pitch shots working with a little bit different trajectory on them and just some basic shots. A lot of the fundamentals are basically the same with all the shots, but there are a few little differences that I'll try to highlight to you. So the first one here is just a low kind of bump and run chip shot or pitch shot. You may be 20 yards off the green, there's nothing to go over. You got a little bit of space between the start of the green and the pin. So here I like to play these with my grip a little weaker, so that means my left hand, the back of my left hand is pointing more toward the target and the club face just slightly open. You'll notice that my feet are very narrow and that my left foot is dropped back, meaning that my hips are slightly open. My weight is predominantly on my left foot at this point. From here I'm going to take it back kind of low and just slightly inside. Not a whole lot of wrist action with this. This is what we would call a hinge and hold, or a little bit of a dead-handed swing. You're going to see that my weight does lean to the left, pulling the club down. The club head stays very low to the ground. I have a very shallow angle of attack coming in, so even if I were to catch the ground slightly behind the ball, then because of the shallow angle of attack, the club would still get through and the ball would still project out pretty well. Trying to catch the ball on the mat at the same time. You'll notice on the picture on the left how low the ball flight actually was, and if you look at the picture on the right, you can see that my hands stay very quiet all the way through. Okay, so the next one is just what we would call just a medium pitch shot. I'm going to get a little bit higher, probably have 30 yards to the green. I'm going to land it on the front portion of the green and let the ball roll more toward the back. So this ball will land and roll a little bit. You'll also notice once again that my grip is still a little weak. My feet are still pretty close together. Weight is still on the left. But now you'll notice that the ball is a little bit more in the middle of my stance. So from here I'm going to take a little bit bigger backswing. You know, we work on the clock face method, whereas when we set up, if our left arm is pointing at the ball, that would be 6 o'clock. If I took it back to where my left arm is pointing at 7, 8, or 9, which is parallel to the ground, this is probably pretty close to about an 8 o'clock swing for me. I'm going to pull through with my hips. My hands, once again, are pretty quiet. My body just continues to rotate through. I try to catch the mat and the ball at the same time, and all the way through without letting my hands rotate over. You can see how my body's twisting to get the club back to square. You'll notice that that shot was just quite a bit higher. It's going to fly, it's going to land, roll out a couple yards. You'll notice the club doesn't finish way to my left or over my head, and the club face is still pretty open. I've kept my hands very quiet throughout this whole swing. Now the third shot is more of a flop shot or a very high lofted shot. So here my stance is getting a little wider. My grip is still pretty weak, but now the ball is very close to my front foot. The shaft of the club is now leaning back a little bit more. On this particular shot, I'm going to try to be relatively still with my head, and I'm going to pick the club up very quickly, letting my hands hinge. So the club is going to be straight up and down. This is more of what we call a long, soft swing. So I'm going to have a pretty long motion. I'm going to have pretty good acceleration all the way through the shot. What I don't want to do is stop to hit it. So it's a nice, smooth, flowing swing. As I come down, I'm releasing my hands, and you'll actually see that the shaft is almost leaning backwards as it goes through the ball. This is going to create a whole lot of loft. The ball is going to go straight up in the air. This particular shot, the ball actually hit the roof before it hit the net. So I've really wanted to keep a nice, long, flowing swing with good acceleration right through the ball. Now, the last shot I would like to show you is once again about a 45 to 50 yard shot. And you'll notice that the ball is now more in the middle of my stance again. This is one where I'm trying to create a little bit more backspin. So I'm trying to get that ball to hit and check up or stop. Alright, so this is a little bit higher risk shot for most players. The first three should have covered generally getting the ball on the green for just about everybody. If you can master those three, you should be fine. But this is a shot where maybe I need to fly the ball over the bunker, or the pin is tucked in the back or right in the front, and I'm trying to get the ball to check and stop. So there's a couple of things that you should do first. One, make sure your club is clean. You want your grooves to be clean. Two, you want to make sure you have a ball that is spinnable. And three, we're looking at a good lie. This should be done from the fairway. This shot's not going to work well out of the rough. You're just not going to be able to get the spin on it. So here my club face is a little square. My feet are still very close together. I'm looking for width in my backswing. So I'm trying to stretch my arms out there without letting my body move way away. I am going to set my hands, and what I'm looking for on the downswing is much more acceleration with my hands through the shot. So I'm really going to try to shoot my hands through, but then abbreviate my finish. You'll notice that my hands on this particular one turned over. I really try to accelerate. You can see my finish is very short. That particular shot went 47 yards in the air, bounced and stopped at 48 yards. I had 8,700 RPMs of backspin on that one. That ball bounced and checked in 1 yard. So that was the shot I was looking for right there. All right, a little bit more of a high risk. I'm not saying that's the only way to do it. I'm saying that's the way that we do it. Okay, I hope this helps with your short games. Thank you.